This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let us create the company code. I'm quickly creating using the transaction codes because we already did it. Since the company code has been deleted, we are adding it once again. For company SSGR, I think it's already available. Let us verify from OX15T code. Let's go to OX15, position SSGR. Samsung group is already available. If you double click on this, you can find the company information. I'll come back. Let me try to create company code in OX02. Add a new entry. We were assuming to create SSIN as our company code representing Samsung India. I'll take this company name Samsung India Private Limited. City, I'll take Hyderabad, India, currency INR, language English. After this, click on this address tab. Select company from the drop down. This is your Samsung India Private Limited. I'll put SSIN, street, Samsung Street, some number, postal code, this region, this 36. Save it. Continue. Okay. Next one, let us do the assignment of company code to company using OX16. Go to OX16. Position company code SSIN. Company is SSGR. Save it. Okay, after this, what we did, we created chart of account. Let's verify if chart of account is available or not. OB13, OB13, chart of account is available. Samsung operating chart of account, fine. Next one, let us verify account groups, not account groups. Next one is assignment of company code to chart of account, OB62. Company code is SSIN. Chart of account is not assigned. First one is operating chart of account. Second one is country chart of account. What we created is operating. Let us assign this operating to the first field, which is your SSGR. Save it. After this, account groups OBD4. Let's go to position based on our chart of account SSGR. We have the account groups already available. Next one, retained earnings account OB53. Chart of account SSGR. This is also already available. Next one, fiscal year, we decided to go ahead with SAP standard fiscal year variant V3 and K4. So those will be already available. Let us make sure the assignment of V3 or K4 to our company code in OB37. Copy OB37, put this here against company code SSIN. Currently there is no fiscal year variant. Against company code, whatever we assign, which is representing leading or non-leading ledger. Your company code assignments will represent leading or
Leading.
non-leading? Leading
Leading.
ledger. For leading ledger, are we using IFRS accounting principle or Indian Companies Act?
IFRS.
For leading ledger, we are using IFRS accounting principle. According to IFRS accounting principle, we will be using fiscal year variant as Jan to December. For January to December, the fiscal year variant will be K4. Standard SAP fiscal year variant for Jan to December or calendar year is K4. Let us take K4. Enter and then save it. For Indian Companies Act, we will have to do a separate configuration using ledger concept, non-leading ledger, and then the separate fiscal year variant, posting period variant will be created for meeting your Indian Companies Act reporting requirement. Now fiscal year is completed. Next one is your posting period variant. OBBO. Let us verify if this setting is available. OBBO. Company code SSIN. This is not available. Let us create a new posting period variant. Let's take SSIN. I'll take SSIN posting period variant for IFRS. In bracket you can mention Jan to December. Save this. If you want, you can also mention 0L here to make it more specific. Until you are clear with the confusions, all this kind of the doubtfulness and all, until you become comfortable, confident, make sure you are going to represent your leading ledger, non-leading ledger codes so that you will not get confused. So once you are clear the way you want to create, you can practice, but in the beginning make sure you are not getting confused, you are clear with what you are doing. Save this. Next one, assignment of this posting period variant to the company code in OBBP. Let's go to OBBP. Company code SSIN. Against this, whatever the posting period variant we created is same thing, SSIN. Put this here and then save it. Next one, open and close posting periods, OB52. Let's go to OB52. In this OB52, you need to maintain the allowed account types for the posting period. Now click on maintain all here instead of giving posting period variant. Click on maintain all so that it will display all the existing posting periods from the system. From here you can select any existing posting period variant which contains these parameters plus A, D, K, M, S. These are the 6 things that you need to copy from any of the existing posting period variant. Select these 6 posting periods from any one of the existing posting period variant. Click on copy icon from the top. Once you click on copy, make sure you change the variant from the existing variant to your variant, because whatever the variant we created is not 0011. Our variant was SSIN. Make sure you replace this with SSIN everywhere. Copy, paste SSIN, and make sure here you will remove all the other things. To remove all this, you need to click Ctrl Y on the keyboard so that you will be able to copy the data in one attempt. When I say in one attempt, once you release the mouse left button, you will not be able to copy this. You need to press Ctrl Y once again. Once you select all the period related information, click on delete so that no period information is available. First, after this, press enter and click on save first. First thing that you do is copy a variant, make sure you converted the variant name to your variant, remove all the periods and then save it. Once you save it, now look at this things that you have copied. You have copied and you've created a new posting period variant for SSIN. Account types we are adding is 6 plus A, D, K, M, S. You need to understand what are these account types that you are adding in your posting period variant. Normally, whenever you do any posting, your postings are account type specific. You will be calling GL accounts, customer account, vendor account, asset account, and so on. Now, when you are posting the entries on a real time, you will have to specify for what kind of accounts your posting periods are open. Now you have two options. Option number one, to keep only plus. If you want, you can keep only plus and then create the posting period variant. That is fine. Option number two, you must create along with plus all the other groups. Please be on mute, those who are not talking. Okay. You need to make sure for which account types you are going to pass the entries. Accordingly, you need to create posting period variant. So you have two options. Option number one, you can create your posting period variant only with single line, which is your plus, or along with plus you need to maintain all the other account types. But in the real environment, this is how you are going to create. Considering this, when you are practicing also, the same way you are going to adopt. You must create plus ADKMS as your account type for posting periods. Remember, at any given point of time, only current period is opened. At any given point of time, only the current period is opened for postings. Now, when you're talking about current period, first thing that you need to look at is your current calendar month. Currently, we are on calendar month June 2023. Currently, you're on calendar month June 2023. Compare this calendar month June 2023 according to your accounting principle. You have two accounting principle. One is your Indian Companies Act. The other one is IFRS. Now, currently we have created only one ledger, or currently we are going ahead only with single ledger, which is your leading ledger. For leading ledger, we are going to use accounting principle IFRS. For IFRS, we are going to follow the reporting structure of January to December. According to January to December, June is part of serial number 6. You need to start counting from January. According to IFRS, your reporting begins from January till December. Start counting from January. Look at the number at which you are arriving at June. If you compare from January, June is number 6, which means in accounting, you are going to call your month as period. According to your fiscal year variant, based on IFRS accounting principle, June is part of period number 6. Now, according to standard accounting practice, you must keep only the current month open for data entry or for transaction posting. Considering that, you need to ensure June month is open for postings. June month is represented as period number 6 according to IFRS. Make sure from period is 6 strictly. Do not put 1 to 12, strictly not recommended. Put only the current month. So make sure everywhere you put from period as 6 here, which means June. June of which year? June of current year. So current year you need to consider according to fiscal year. June 2023 will become period number 6 and fiscal year 2023. You need to mention from which fiscal year this June is allowed for postings. You need to ensure your fiscal year is 2023. This we already discussed. I'm not getting into the detailed explanation once again. Now you need to make sure whether you want to keep multiple periods open or a single period opened. If you want to have a single period opened, make sure the same information you're copy pasting from here. Control C like this. Copy, put this Control V here. Press enter and then save it. Now looking at this setting, system will allow you to record the entries only in period number 6 of fiscal year 2023. By looking at this period 6 year 2023, you need to understand which calendar month, which calendar year this is representing. This is representing June 2023 in calendar. Is that clear? This is representing June 2023 in your calendar, correct? Okay. Save this, come back. After this, what we created is field status variant. For field status variant, OBC4 is what we used. Let me go to OBC4. In OBC4, let us verify if our variant is available. This is not available. Samsung is not available. Whenever you are creating any field status variant, make sure this is not a new entry. This is always a copy entry. You are going to copy an existing field status variant and make it as your own variant. Whenever you are copying, always ensure you are copying from SAP standard variant, either 0001 or 1000. So let me copy from 0001. Select 0001, click on copy icon like this. Replace the name. Your company code is SSIN, but this field status variant is a client specific config, which means for all your company codes you are going to use same field status variant. Wherever you are going to create same field status variant, make sure you will be creating a field status variant with your company identification. Here I am going to put SSGR, Samsung Group. Let me put field status variant for SSGR, Samsung Group. The moment you click on enter, you get a pop-up screen which is asking you to select one of the three options. Option number 1, copy all. Option number 2, only copy entry. Option number 3, cancel. Now each field status variant contains different field status groups which are used in your GL master record. Any transaction that you are posting for any particular GL account will have a field status control. Now this field status control is maintained at field status group controlled by field status variant. Now when you are copying a field status variant, system is asking whether you want to copy field status variant along with field status group, or you want to copy only field status variant, do not want to copy the field status groups, or you do not want to copy anything. If you click on copy all, field status variant along with field status groups will get copied. If you click on copy only entry, only the variant will get copied, groups will not be copied. If you click on cancel, nothing will happen, the program will get terminated. In short, this will be cancelled. Now you will be always creating a field status variant by clicking on copy all icon. Okay, let us click on copy all icon here. It is giving you a message, number of dependent entries copied 45, which means 45 field status groups are copied. Click on OK. Proceed to save this. Enter. In this, if you open this field status variant, double click on field status group. You will see different groups that are copied from 0001 to SSGR. Okay, come back. Now our field status variant is created. Next one is to assign your field status variant to your company code, which is done in OBC5 transaction. Let's go to OBC5. Go to position. It's asking company code. SSIN is your company code, and field status variant we created is also SSGR. Click on save. Now till here is what we created in the last sessions. Clear, right? Whatever we did so far is something that we already discussed, we already configured. Since some settings were deleted in the system, we added them again. Now from here, let us continue the remaining settings that we were to do for this new company code. After creating field status variant, what else is remaining? What else we need to create? Chart of account, fiscal year, posting period, field status variant. Next one, let us talk about tolerance groups. When we talk about tolerance group, we have three type of tolerance groups. One is your GL tolerances. Next one, customer vendor tolerances, last one user tolerances. Now these three settings will not have any impact or will not have any major impact on your configuration for or any influence on your configurations or transaction postings, but these are part of your baseline configuration because these are part of standard SAP validations while posting any transaction. Whenever you're trying to create any transaction for GL, for any customer, for any vendor, or any transaction which is entered by any user, in short, any data entry that is happening on your SAP system from finance point of view, from accounting point of view, system will verify whether these tolerance groups are already created for your company code or not. Whether you want to use the functionality or you do not want to use the tolerance group functionality is secondary. The primary objective is to have this setting defined for your company code. Okay, so system is going to verify whether these three settings are maintained for your company code or not. If these three settings are not maintained for your company code, system will not allow you to pass the data entry. So that is why these are part of your baseline configurations. There is no impact on this. You are not going to discuss these things with your client. We will not be discussing about these things with the client because these are generic SAP settings which are part of your initial settings or baseline configuration, because these things are part of your basic validations while passing any transaction in your SAP FICO. Just to bypass or just to avoid that error, we are going to maintain this. Now for GL tolerance, you have a transaction code which is your OB-A0. For customer vendor tolerances, this will be OB-A3. For user tolerances, this is your OB-A4. First, let me open OB-A0. If I go to OB-A0, this is what we are getting. Tolerance for GL accounts in local currency. Let me click on new entries. Here system is asking you to select your company code, put your company code SSIN, and here you put GL tolerance SSIN, and down below it is asking what is the tolerance in local currency. Always remember, this tolerance group for GL account is used only for the local currency postings which are applicable only for balance sheet open item managed accounts, which are used only for balance sheet open item managed accounts. As of now, you do not focus much on this because this is not something which is important from your interview point of view, from your actual content point of view. This is just a setting that is needed for you to record a transaction, see it only from that point of view and then remove it. Okay, just ignore it, press enter and then proceed to save. I am going to explain what is the impact and why we use these tolerances separately from the interview point of view, but as of now you focus only on defining this setting. Make sure you come to the tolerance screen, you put your company code, put the description, save it. Nothing much. Do not assign any group here. If you put any group, you need to assign this tolerance group to the respective GL accounts. Right? Since we are not using this tolerance group concept, we will not be using in the real time also. Since this concept is not used only for the system checkpoint, we are just maintaining our company code so that system is not going to throw any error related to GL tolerances. It is only going to check whether your company code is updated with tolerance setting or not. If yes, you will not receive any error. If not, you will receive the error. Save it. Simply remember, you are only going to add company code and then save it. No numbers, nothing here. Okay, I'm not maintaining any number, I'm not maintaining any percentage. You also do not maintain anything when you're configuring. Why we have to maintain, what will happen if you maintain, we will discuss later on from the practical example point of view once we are on the transaction postings. Come back. OBA0 we did, in which we created GL tolerances. Next one, customer vendor tolerances, OBA3. Let's come to OBA3. Add a new entry. Here also same thing. Put your company code, SSIN. Put tolerance for SSIN. Enter. SSIN. Do not maintain any other things here. This also we are going to discuss separately. As of now, system is only going to verify whether this tolerance group is maintained for your company code or not. If it is maintained for your company code, you are not going to receive any errors while passing any transaction regarding a vendor or customer. If this setting is not maintained, if you are trying to record any transaction for vendor account or for customer account, in short, any accounts payable related entry, any accounts receivable related entry is not possible without this setting. When we talk about without this setting, system is only going to verify whether the company code is updated or not. If company code is updated, you will not receive any error. If company code is not updated, you will receive an error message. Okay, just put your company code and then save it. No numbers, nothing you are going to update. Why we will update, on what basis we will update, we have to discuss with practical scenario, and then we need to understand. Just for the sake of completing the configuration, do not fill anything which you are not aware of. Come back. Next, last one is your user tolerances, OBA4. Let's go to this OBA4. Here also same thing, click on new entries. Make sure here also you are going to add your company code only, not the group. Company code of ours is SSIN. Press enter. When you put SSIN and when you press enter, you will get your company code description automatically appearing and your company code currency is coming automatically. Next thing you need to put here is upper level posting tolerance, which means what is the maximum amount that a user can post in your company code. Normally, as we discussed, we are not going to use this functionality even in the real environment. You are going to mask, or you are going to bypass this by pressing or by giving maximum 9s here. Similarly, here also you put maximum 9s. If you don't put any amount here, if you leave it blank, system is not going to allow any transaction to be posted. In short, this is the maximum amount that you can post in your company code per transaction. This is the maximum amount that you can post per transaction in your company code. If you put 100 here and you are trying to record a transaction for 200, system will not allow. It says maximum amount that can be posted in this company code is only this much. If any amount posted beyond this amount, it will not accept in any transaction. Since we will not be using this functionality, we are just masking it, ignoring by giving maximum number, which is all lines. Save it. This is about your tolerance groups that you are going to create. Next one. After tolerances, let us create. We also need to create a document splitting. But account groups, we need to create different account groups. Since we have not created all the account groups, I have not created a document splitting settings. Now I'm not creating so far. I'll be creating maybe in the tomorrow's session document splitting, because we need to understand different account groups. We need to understand how your P&L looks like, how your balance sheet looks like, what are your TB schedules, P&L schedules, balance sheet schedules. Accordingly, we will be discussing about account groups for GL account. Similarly, how these account groups are mapped in your document splitting, why we need to perform document splitting, what happens with document splitting. This we will discuss in the next session. After this, next thing that we are going to define is your tax procedure. Okay, tax procedure is again one of the mandatory setting as part of your baseline configuration. Using tax procedure, system will understand what kind of a sales and purchase tax you are going to use it. This tax procedure is a country specific. You need to create a tax procedure and assign the tax procedure to the country in the initial stage. Later on, when we are on the tax configuration part, we will be understanding in detail about taxation. First, we need to define the tax procedure. Let me put define tax procedure and then assign tax procedure to country. These are the two settings that we need to do with respect to tax procedure. For defining tax procedure, your transaction code will be OBYZ, and for assigning tax procedure to the country, it will be OBBG. First, let's go to OBYZ, wherein we will be creating the tax procedure. I'll go to SAP OBYZ. In OBYZ, we are talking about tax procedure. Double click on procedures. Since we are talking about tax procedure, double click on procedures. Click on new entry and create a tax procedure with your company code at the beginning. Later on, you are going to create not with your company code, you will be creating with Z tax followed by country code. If you are creating tax procedure for India, you will be creating a tax procedure with the naming convention as Z tax IN, something like this. But as of now, we are going to create with the same as company code. SSIN, I'll put SSIN tax procedure India. Just create this and click on save. This is your tax procedure creation. After creating tax procedure, next one is to assign tax procedure to your country, which is your OBBG. Let's go to OBBG. Go to position. It is asking for country. You need to give the country for which your company code is assigned. Our company code SSIN is assigned to country India. Put country India. Against India, whatever the procedure is currently there, make sure one procedure is assigned. This can be your tax procedure or any other tax procedure. If this is blank, you are going to receive errors while posting the transaction. If it is filled up with any record, that is fine. You are going to consider whether your procedure is assigned here or not only when you are practicing taxation. Otherwise, simply ignore this. So for now, let us put SSIN, which we have created, and then save it. Okay, you need not verify this every now and then whether this is your tax procedure or somebody else changed it. When different people are practicing, they might change it, which is not going to create any impact on your settings. This is going to have an impact only when you are going to practice or only when you are going to record taxation related entries. Otherwise, assign your procedure here, just ignore it. This is about your tax procedure. After this, we need to create controlling area. Here same thing, define controlling area. Next one, assign controlling area to company code. Last one is your activate controlling components. There are three settings within your controlling area. Let me put this as another box. You will be creating your controlling area in OKKP. This one, everything is done in OKKP T code only. Save this file. Let's open OKKP screen. Copy this. On SAP, put OKKP. Let me verify if this is not created earlier. Fine. Click on new entries here. Controlling area, make sure whatever is your company code or whatever is your group, you can create. So let me create the group as our company code, sorry, controlling area, which is SSGR. I am going to create Samsung group as the controlling area. Description I am going to give Samsung controlling area. Next one, assignment control. This is very important. Whenever you are creating any controlling area, make sure whether you want to have one-to-one relation with your company code or one-to-many relationship with your company code. This is always used as one-to-many relationship, which means one controlling area can be used for multiple company codes. In order to meet that requirement, you need to always ensure your controlling area is always option number 2, which is cross company code cost accounting. This is always cross company code cost accounting, option number 2. Next one, currency type. Always remember your controlling area is always used with your group currency. According to standard SAP or according to the general best practices, you will be using group currency as dollar in every company. You will be using group currency as dollar for every company. For group currency, there will be a currency type or a currency code. Group currency is identified by currency code 30. You need to put 30, then you will get group currency. Let me select this. If I press enter, nothing is coming here. You need to put manually dollar as your group currency. Make sure this group currency dollar is coming from your client level setting, which is SCC4. Okay, you need to ensure this group currency is same as your client currency. To check the client currency, you need to access a transaction called SCC4. If I go to SCC4, now you need to look at the client number in which you logged in. The client number that we logged in is 400. Against client 400, you need to check what is the currency. Against client 400, currency is currently INR. Now here, whatever the currency that you are updating, this currency will be considered whenever you give currency type as 30. Always make sure this currency that you are updating here is the same as your controlling area currency that you are updating in OKKP. It should always be dollar in both the scenarios. If this is not dollar, what you do is click on change mode. Currently we are on display view. Click on this switch icon, display to change, enter. Now this is editable. Remove INR, put dollar and then save it. This is your client currency or this is your group currency maintained in SCC4 transaction. Once you update this, go back and go back to your controlling area setting. Now we ensure that dollar is your group currency, which is your client currency. SCC4, whatever the currency you have, the same currency must be updated as currency type 30 and currency key as dollar in your controlling area. This is mandatory setting. Next one is your chart of account. We are trying to create a controlling area which is cross company code cost accounting. According to this setting, we are representing that one controlling area is used for multiple company codes. We are representing one controlling area is used for multiple company codes. To ensure that single controlling area is used by different company codes, there are two checklists, there are two criteria or parameters. One is you must have same chart of account for all your company codes. Second thing, you must have the same fiscal year variant for all your company codes. If you want to use same controlling area for multiple company codes, remember this is the standard setting. No matter for which client, for which company you work for all your clients, for all your companies, in majority of the cases, more than 90% of the cases, it will be one controlling area used by different company codes. In order to meet this requirement, we need to ensure same chart of account and same fiscal year is used by all your company codes. Now all your company codes may be operated in one country or different countries. If all your company codes are operated in different countries, automatically you will be having different fiscal year. If you have a company code in India, you will be using April to March. If you have a company code in some other country, you may be using Jan to December, July to June, or any fiscal year variant. Now, you know that from country to country, the fiscal year differs. If this is the requirement, for every country, there is a different fiscal year variant. And there is another requirement for all your company codes, you must maintain same controlling area. Now here you need to bring a point of the accounting principle. If I use my accounting principle IFRS, or if I use my accounting principle as local GAAP, which is according to Indian Companies Act, or any other country, that respective country specific accounting principle. Now here you are going to decide whether you are going to use leading ledger, non-leading ledger concept or not. If you are using leading, non-leading ledger concept, which ledger is used for IFRS, which ledger is used for local accounting principle. If you are not clear with this, whatever the settings we are doing at controlling area level may not be correct. At this moment, system may not stop you because you are configuring only one company code, you are practicing a single company code. But when you are in a project, you are going to create multiple company codes, there you are going to face problems, right? So always ensure you will be creating all your company codes with same chart of account assignment and same fiscal year assignment. This is possible only when you use common accounting principle for all your company codes. These common accounting principle for all your company codes is always IFRS. This common accounting principle IFRS is strictly leading ledger 0L. Okay, common accounting principle IFRS strictly recommended for leading ledger, which is 0L. Now whatever the chart of account you are giving here, this is represented by operating chart of account. You are talking about operating chart of account here. You know that you have three type of chart of accounts. Operating, country, group. What chart of account are we going to assign in controlling area? We will be assigning operating chart of account in controlling area. Our operating chart of account was SSGR. Put your operating chart of account. Next one, your fiscal year variant. You have two fiscal year variants. One is representing Jan to December, the other one is representing April to March. Which one are we going to use here? You are going to use fiscal year variant, which is represented by IFRS accounting principle, because whatever the fiscal year that you are going to assign here, this fiscal year is assigned to your company code of leading ledger. Whatever the fiscal year that is assigned to your company code at leading ledger level, that is what you're representing here. So you need to bring, or you need to remember, you need to talk about accounting principle from now on very frequently. Otherwise this will be difficult for us to understand different things conceptually, practically. For accounting principle IFRS, you are going to use leading ledger. For leading ledger, you are going to use Jan to December. For Jan to December, you are using calendar year, which is your K4 SAP standard fiscal year variant. Put K4 here. It's not about you just put K4 here. It's not about you have put a chart of account here. Make sure you understand why you are putting this chart of account, why you are giving this fiscal year variant here. If we are not understanding this, then there is no point of creating a controlling area. Creating this is very simple, but understanding why we are creating like this is more important. Remember, any settings that you are updating inside the controlling area are straight away representing leading ledger IFRS accounting principle. Next one, cost center standard hierarchy. In controlling area, you have cost centers. For cost centers, you need to maintain a hierarchy. For cost center standard hierarchy, standard practice is always controlling area underscore CCTR or underscore CC. Anything you can put. Controlling area underscore CC. SSGR representing Samsung Group cost centers. Hit enter. It is telling this hierarchy currently does not exist, whether you want to create it. This is asking you this pop-up because without this cost center standard hierarchy, we cannot create the controlling area. If you click on yes, this is going to create hierarchy, and then you click on save. Now system has saved your controlling area. If you double click on SSGR, you can see this. Now what we did, now we have created only the controlling area. Next one is to assign controlling area to the company code. To assign controlling area to company code, same transaction code, but on the left hand side you will find two more options. First one is assignment of company codes. Right, we need to assign company code to our controlling area. Double click on assignment of company code. Currently there are no company codes assigned to this controlling area. If you want to pass any entries in the cost of controlling module or CO module, your company code must be assigned to controlling area. This is a mandatory step. Click on new entry here. And here if you see, there are multiple options, which means you can assign multiple company codes to your controlling area based on one condition. That condition is same chart of account, same fiscal year. If you have 10 company codes, make sure all the 10 company codes are using same chart of account and same fiscal year. Only then it is possible to assign it here. If I try to put, let's say, any other company code, it is not going to accept. I'll put SSIN here. This will accept the company code only if the chart of account, fiscal year same as your controlling area. Click on save. Enter. And then the last setting is activate components. That is again appearing here, activate components or control indicators. If you click on this, you are getting another message or another screen here. On this, again you have new entries. Click on new entries here. On this new entries, make sure you put fiscal year. You need to remember from which fiscal year you are going to create your company code in SAP. If you are creating your company code in SAP from current fiscal year, which is 2023, make sure you put 2023. Make sure you put 2023 or 1 year back. Okay, we are creating from 2023 onwards, so I'll put 2023 as my starting of the controlling area. Currently I'm not activating any of this because I'm not using these functionalities as of now. When we come to these functionalities, at that level only we are going to activate this after receiving the error messages. If these are not activated, system is going to give you some errors. Based on the error, you need to maintain this. Click on save. Okay, now this is about your controlling area settings. Now after creating controlling area, we have a few more settings like your non-leading ledger creation. You have your document splitting creation, profit center, cost center creations. These settings we will continue in the next session. Okay, so let me stop this recording here.